I am really starting to dislike the state of Florida. Welcome to From Center Ice, the podcast. My name is Courtney, and today I'm here to talk about some Blackhawks hockey, some AHL news, and then at the end of this episode, I have an interview with one of my good friends to talk about the Colorado Avalanche and some other things NHL related. So stay tuned for that, and let's talk some hockey. So we have a little bit of news about the American Hockey League. We don't have an official schedule yet for when the games are going to play, but the Ice Hogs tweeted out that the ice is officially in at the BMO Harris Bank Center, so that is very exciting. Of course, there's going to be no fans in the stadium, at least to start the season, but the ice is in, so that means that hockey is one step closer to returning to Rockford, and there is a preseason game on January 27th against the Chicago Wolves, because of course there is. And they're playing in Hoffman Estates, I believe. The Wolves aren't playing in Rosemont for this season. They're playing at their practice arena, so that's where that game will take place. Again, no fans. We're in the same state of Illinois, so we'll see how that plays out, and I'm very interested to see what the American League is going to look like this year. Thankfully, being a season ticket holder, the Ice Hogs are giving us access for free to AHL TV to watch all of the home and away games for the Ice Hogs. And I know a couple other AHL teams are doing that for their season ticket holders as well, the Chicago Wolves being one of them. I'm not sure how many others exactly are, but I think that's a really great thing for these teams to do, especially since most of us have already paid for our seats that we don't get to sit in. So at least it's something, and I believe that the money that we've paid for this season will roll over into next year. So everything is coming together in its own way. All I know is I am very excited to see the Ice Hogs back out there on the ice. I miss watching them, and these Blackhawks sure aren't giving me anything to be excited about. So hopefully my Ice Hogs will do a bit better. Now, moving on to said Blackhawks, they finished their series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They went 0 for 2. They didn't look good. They got outscored 10-3, I want to say. Because they gave up 5 goals in each game. They scored 1 the first game and 2 the second game. So yeah, 10-3. They were outscored in that series, which was sort of to be expected. Tampa Bay is a very good team. They're the reigning Stanley Cup champions, and they have mostly the same roster as they did last season. And our roster is basically completely different, with a few guys maintaining their roles. So it was to be expected. It still sucked to watch, but it is what it is. Then last night, I am recording this on Monday, last night we faced off against the Florida Panthers for the first time. We have a 2-game series with them as well, just like we did Tampa. And that game didn't go well either. I thought maybe it would be a bit better than against Tampa Bay, but somehow the Blackhawks looked even worse. According to the eye test, I think some of the numbers indicated that maybe they played a bit better. I know they got some more chances on net, and Chris Driedger was just out of his mind, because of course he was. They didn't even play Sergei Bobrovsky, who will be in net Tuesday night, and Driedger was just stopping the pucks that he needed to. He only let in 2 goals. One was an awesome slap shot on the power play by Alex DeBrincat, the other a shot from the point by Connor Murphy. I believe it was tipped by one of the defenders. Either way, the Hawks only scored 2 goals. Once again, they gave up 5. So they've given up 5 goals in each of the 3 games they've played so far. They've been outscored 15-5 so far this season. It is just not going well. I had a lot more positives to take away from the games against Tampa. Last night just kind of upset me a lot because the Panthers aren't Tampa Bay. They're a good team in their own right. They made some very good off-season acquisitions, and like I said, Driedger played out of his mind, but they're not Tampa, so I was hoping that the Hawks could come out and score some more goals. They did have one that was taken away in the first period due to an offside challenge. That was a Patrick Kane goal set up by a beautiful play from Pius Suter with a good old spinorama pass. I was very mad that they took away that first point from him. Thankfully, he did get an assist on Connor Murphy's goal, so he got his first point for the Blackhawks, but I was really mad that they took that first one away from him because it was just beautiful. Of course, Kane had to be offside for that to get it negated. I would like to think if they didn't have that goal taken away, maybe they would have won the game, maybe they would have had some more momentum and just taken over. But alas, they went into the first intermission scoreless, and then the second period came around and once again just bit us in the ass. I don't know why this keeps happening, but as soon as the first period starts, everything goes downhill. I want to say it was the first shift of the second period that Florida got their first goal. Yep, it was 12 seconds into the second period. I just had to look it up. That's just not acceptable, especially when we've been outscored by so much. You really want to get that first goal, maybe get a lead of more than one. Maybe that would lead to the Blackhawks winning a game. Who knows? But so far they are 0-3. They take on Florida again tomorrow night. And we get to see Sergei Bobrovsky in net, who is their starting goaltender, mostly only because he's paid $70 million over the lifetime of his contract there. He's mostly been outplayed by his backup. He did not have a good season last year. I would look for him to have a rebound season. He's a great goaltender. Last year was just very bad for him. So hopefully he doesn't kick off his rebound tomorrow night against the Hawks, which he probably will. He'll probably come out and shut them out. We won't even get one, and it'll just be even more depressing. But I do reluctantly have some positives to take away from that game. They're mostly the same positives that I had coming out of the Tampa series. One of those being Pius Suter. He had that beautiful assist taken away, but he was very good, and he's been moved on to a line centering Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane, so he has a lot more chances to show off that offensive skill that he has. But he's also very responsible with the puck, and he's able to get it out of the zone, which is something that has plagued this Blackhawks team for a long time, and something that really came back to bite them in the ass last night. It was not clearing the puck. So having a guy who can do that and do it consistently is definitely a positive for this team. It has only been 3 games. That is a very small sample size to say that that's consistent for this player, but it's been consistent for 3 games so far, so you would hope that doesn't fall off. He also has some very good speed. I've been impressed so far with his skating. He's been able to more than keep up with Kane and DeBrincat. He's been setting both of them up for chances. He's been getting shots himself. I am a very big fan of Pius Suter so far this season. Again, 3 games. Maybe by the end of the season I'll be singing a different tune, but right now I am a big fan. Another positive, Ian Mitchell, our rookie defender, came out of Denver University. This is his first pro season, and he more than fits in. He's competent in both the defensive zone and in the offensive zone. Of course, he will develop more as the season goes on. He'll get more used to playing NHL defense, but he hasn't looked lost out there. That second game against Tampa, he was on the ice for a majority of the goals, but they weren't his fault. You couldn't pin them on him. That was just one of those unfortunate things that happens throughout the course of a season. But he's looked good, and he definitely deserves to be getting more and more minutes as the games go along. I've been impressed with how he holds the blue line in the offensive zone. He's got some fancy stick work to keep it away from the defenders, and he can keep the puck in and send it down low to our forwards. He's got a great first pass out of the defensive zone. He's hitting our forwards in stride. It's just very impressive to see from a rookie. He's not going to light the world on fire and be a scoring machine from the back end, but he's very reliable, and sometimes that's just what you need the most. And with how the Blackhawks defense has looked lately, I will take that any day of the week. I'm still not a fan of the Calvin DeHaan, Ian Mitchell defense pairing. Hopefully they switch that up soon, or those two start meshing better. More so, hopefully Calvin DeHaan starts playing better one of these games, and then it won't be as much of a big deal. But so far, it hasn't been very good. But neither has Duncan Keith and Connor Murphy. Adam Boquist and Nikita Zadorov has also been questionable. There is just a lot left to be desired on the back end for the Hawks, and it's unfortunate because we really have some talent back there that seemingly should be pretty good, but whatever is going on right now, it's not working. There have been a lot of unfortunate bounces leading to goals, a lot of them bouncing off of our defenders, some of them just being tipped right out front by the opposing team. So hopefully the puck luck starts bouncing in our direction sooner rather than later. Whether that means more goals for the Blackhawks or less goals for the teams they are facing, either way, we need something to happen. The good news is through 3 games, Alex DeBrincat has 2 goals so far. He was ridiculously snake-bitten last season. It seemed like he was never going to score again for a few stretches. So he's had back-to-back power play goals, one against Tampa, one against the Panthers, and that's just great to see. Hopefully he can keep building off of that and get back to that pure goal scorer that we saw his first year in the NHL. Patrick Kane hasn't looked too bad. He had that beautiful backhander in that second game against Tampa. He had a goal waved off, or not waved off, but taken back last night against Florida. Again, that was for the offside. So the points are coming for that line. We just need more of them if this team is going to start winning. Or we need the depth guys to start scoring. One guy you can look at who should be putting up points here pretty soon is Lucas Wallmark. He's looked good in every game he's played so far. He's had some solid chances. The puck just hasn't gone in, mostly because we were playing Andrei Vasilevsky and then Chris Driedger just, playing like an elite goaltender when he's not supposed to be. So I would assume the points start coming for him soon. Also, Philip Kurashev had a beautiful chance last night, and that resulted in Driedger's best save of the game, because of course it did. So I would assume that he starts putting up some points here shortly as well. He is also a rookie. He made his NHL debut in the second game against Tampa Bay, and he looked really good. He may be a rookie, but he looks like he belongs on this team, and he looks like he's been a part of this team for a while now, which is very promising to see. He's on a line with Strome and Kubalik, so I'd assume those points would start coming, especially if Kubalik can start potting some of these chances that he's had. That would certainly be very appreciated by Blackhawks fans around the world. So everything isn't total doom and gloom. It has really sucked seeing them lose all 3 games so far, especially being outscored by a large margin there. But a lot of those goals really were unfortunate bounces. Some of them you want your goaltender to have, but that's just how it goes. We don't know who is starting for the Blackhawks tomorrow night. Sergei Bobrovsky will be in net for the Panthers. I could see them choosing any of the 3 guys we have right now, be it Colin Delia, Malcolm Subban, or Kevin Lankinen. Subban probably deserves to get another shot at the net. They did give Colin 2 games in a row. In both of those, he gave up 5 goals, just like Subban's start for the first game of the year. So I don't know if they just want to really see what they have in these 2 guys before they give Kevin a shot, but I would hope that Kevin gets in between the pipes sooner rather than later. Other than that, it's just been an interesting journey watching these games, watching them be this bad, and trying to pick out the positives. Because we all knew that this was going to be a bad team this year. I will say it over and over again. But if we just dwell on them being bad, this is going to be a very miserable season. So I like to try to pick out some positive things from each game, seeing how our rookies develop from game to game. And it's definitely been an interesting experience. I would say it's fun, but I don't think fun is the right word because that still involves this team sucking, which is very not fun. But we do have some promising young players. There are things to look forward to. We just have to keep that in mind when this team is getting outscored 15-5 over the course of 3 games. And that's not always easy. So hopefully this game Tuesday night against Florida looks a little bit better for the Hawks. Hopefully they score more than 2 goals. Hopefully they give up less than 5. I don't know. If you're a betting person, I would probably start betting on them giving up 5 each game at this point. I mean, it's been a trend. With all of that being said, I'm going to cut here to this interview with my friend Janika, otherwise known as Fink, which I will be calling her because that's just what I do. But before I cut to that, if you want more from Center Ice content, I upload a video before every single game over on our YouTube channel. You can find that and more at FromCenterIce.com. All of our social media will be in the show notes, so you can find us there. So now let's head into the conversation that I had with Fink about the Colorado Avalanche and these weird-ass divisions that we have this season in the NHL. Enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast, Fink.
What's up?
Not much.
When was the last time I was on here when we were...
I feel like it was about a year ago.
Yeah. It was definitely before the bubble.
Yeah, I feel like it was it before everything was canceled, or was it right after everything was canceled? I think it was right before.
Before, because the Stadium Series had just happened.
Oh yeah, you were telling the story about how people died and shit.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be funny, but it was just so ridiculous.
It is, and now we are having another outdoor game, so, you know...
Yeah, it's at Lake Tahoe, right?
Tahoe. Yeah,
Hopefully
one of my bosses wants to go.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they going to allow people?
I don't think so, but he is hopeful.
Oh, well, if they do, hopefully they have it set up better this time so people can get back to their cars.
Yeah, no more death.
That would be nice.
There's been enough.
There's been too much death this past year.
Yeah,
it all started with the Stadium Series.
The Stadium Series was like the catalyst.
It was. Maybe if they didn't have such terrible jerseys, we wouldn't have this whole COVID mess.
Oh, God. We redeemed ourselves, though.
Yeah, I suppose. Especially with the reverse retros.
Yeah, those are, God, they're beautiful.
They
I
are.
finally got mine in the mail. It was amazing.
It took like 2 months.
Yeah, I did. It was a long wait.
Well, it's fine because you actually get to watch a good hockey team this year while I am watching the shittiest team in the NHL.
I can't even watch them. Ideally, yes, I would get to watch an amazing hockey team, but I can't watch them.
What? Colorado. Y'all need to get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the deal there? You explain it to me and I still don't understand it.
Basically, it started, they were up for like renegotiation for TV contracts with the Cronky Sports with Altitude and Comcast, Dish, and DirecTV. And basically, from how I understand it, the networks didn't want to keep the same agreement because viewership had gone down, even though the Avs and the Nuggets both are better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But people just aren't watching the games. And KSE was like, no, we want more money because it's the Cronkies. And all the networks basically said no. And so there was this big like dispute with all of the TV providers and nobody was carrying Altitude. And so far, DirecTV is the only one who managed to come up with a deal.
Oh my god.
You have DirecTV, you can watch Altitude. But Comcast and Dish are still just, they're standing out and you can't watch them. Like our season opener on Wednesday, we couldn't even watch on NBC Sports because Comcast blacked out our game on NBC Sports.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't. Like your Blackhawks game was on and I had it on. And as soon as the Avs were supposed to start, it changed to a car show.
I don't understand. That makes no sense. It's on the national channel.
Yeah.
But they're not playing it.
It's a nationally televised game, and they said, I don't know if it was because of our issues with TV or what, they said that NBC put the Avalanche on the maximum number of video slots for the year, like for the season.
Mm-hmm.
You can only be on like a national game so many times, and we're maxed out. But supposedly they didn't work the contract for that game to be aired.
Oh my god.
Which is stupid.
It's the season opener. You'd think if any game, it would be that one.
And Wednesday night is hockey night in America.
Yeah.
It's like a big deal.
That's just absolutely bonkers.
I'm over it.
You know what else is ridiculous? The division alignments this year.
Oh my god.
So that's how this all started and how we decided to record another episode, because you were going off a little bit in our text conversation earlier today about these division alignments.
Yeah. I mean, I hate St. Louis, period, but I don't.
Oh, me too.
Why? They're in our division and not yours.
I don't understand why they're not in ours either. Nobody will make me understand why Florida, Tampa, and Carolina are in the Central Division. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Meanwhile, Minnesota and St. Louis are not
in the West. Or whatever we're called. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even know what your division is called.
Honda.
I think it's the the ball division.
The ball division. Oh my god.
Like your horrible arena name now.
Yeah. I'm still calling it the Pepsi Center. I don't care yet.
It's a lot better than ball.
Ball arena. Well, and we were talking about it the other night, like, because the big like video screen is Pepsi Vision. What is it? Ball Vision? Is it the ball screen?
It's like it should be sponsored by Pornhub or something.
People are already calling it blue balls because
the
color scheme is like a baby blue cut type thing.
Uh-huh.
They're
and now the Avs have the blue helmets.
Yep. Blue helmet.
Oh no.
And blue gloves. It's a lot of blue.
Yep, it's the blue ball arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. They didn't think that one through very well.
They really didn't. Like, ball is fine.
I guess.
It's a visually pleasing logo. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just weird.
It invites so many crude nicknames. That's all.
Yes. Before, what was Pepsi Center? It was the can.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But now you have the ball. The mason jar.
It's bad.
I hate it.
But we don't have to face you guys this year because all games are intra-divisional and they came up with this horrendous alignment. It's all because Canada just had to play each other because the borders closed. So they had to freak out and do this whole weird shift day thing.
I feel like they could have done it still, even with Canada.
Yeah, like the AHL did. There's one division that has 2 teams in it.
Right. I mean, if you're trying to minimize travel, just the divisions need to be realigned anyway.
They really do.
And so do the conferences.
There's still no reason why in a normal year Colorado should be in the Central when you guys are so far away. You should be in the West.
Pacific.
Yeah.
And but Dallas should be in the Central.
Dallas is in the Central.
No, I mean stay in the Central.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Instead, once Seattle comes in, aren't they moving Arizona over to the Central too?
Yeah. Arizona's coming to the Central and Seattle is going to Pacific.
That's just so stupid.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It's like Nashville playing Colorado, and it's Nashville being in the Central is fine because they're like closer to where you guys are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of we
You're
stick out.
so far away.
Yeah.
I also don't get why they're like, I get trying to limit travel, but these teams are still going different places. What's the difference between traveling to Florida and traveling to California? You're still on the plane. You still have to go to hotels. There's no real difference. It's
No.
not like each division has a bubble. Then I would understand the intra-divisional games.
Wasn't that what the NHL was gonna do initially? And they said that they didn't have enough money.
I feel like it was proposed. I don't know if the league shot it down or the Players Association shot it down.
Yeah, because that would have made more sense. Because even if it was like minor league arenas, as long as the ice is the right size, it doesn't
Yeah,
really matter.
yeah. So I don't. It's like they do all of these weird precautions to make it seem like they're helping. Like the coaches on the bench wearing their masks. I'm sure as soon as they go back into the locker room, they take it off.
Yeah. Well, and the other night I saw on the Avs, Francois had his mask on while he was on the bench as the
Yeah,
back.
Subban had his on too, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a different team I was watching, but I was like, really?
Yeah, and I mean, okay, but that is definitely just an eye pleaser to be like, "Oh, look, they're doing the right thing."
Yeah, I don't know if they're just trying to be an example. Like, hey, everybody wear your masks. We're wearing them on the bench. Herder. I don't know, but it's
Meanwhile, we're not going to bubble everybody, and if you get COVID, we're just going to tell everyone who you are and
yeah.
act like it doesn't exist until you get better.
Yeah, you just have to sit out until you get a negative test and then you're fine. You can come back.
Yeah. That's what just
It's
happened with Eric Johnson.
that's right.
Yep.
And he's coming back now, right?
Yeah, he's back.
Oh,
They
good.
he had COVID and I don't think it was confirmed, but I think that Gabriel Landeskog was out on COVID protocol as well.
Oh, jeez.
And he was back for our second game against St. Louis.
Oh,
But
so he was out for the first game? I missed that.
I think he was.
Hmm. No
I
wonder y'all lost that one.
together now. I know he missed like the last like two practices.
Gotcha. At
He
least it's not like the Dallas Stars who had 17 players.
17 on the same
Like, Jesus. I think
team.
some of them were staff too, but like, what?
But how do you even function?
I don't know.
How
That's why the Panthers played their first game of the season against us on Sunday because they were supposed to play Dallas.
It's just
But
such a nightmare.
it really is. I
I
will be amazed if they pull off this season in its entirety.
I yeah. It's I mean they basically turned the NHL into the AHL by making you play the same like five teams over and over again.
Oh God. Don't even talk to me about that. We don't have the AHL schedule yet, and I'm just so. How many times are we gonna have to play the same team?
Yeah. I mean it's like that even in a normal season.
Yeah, like last year we played Chicago, Grand Rapids, and Milwaukee 8 times each, or was it 12? I don't. It was something
I feel like
ridiculous
it
like
was
that.
12. I think you told me
It,
12.
I think. I think that's right. Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I mean, it seemed like every time I would check in on which I don't pay too much attention to the Colorado Eagles, but every time
Hmm.
I checked in, I feel like they were playing Stockton or Sacramento.
Yeah,
Sacramento? Yeah. And those are like the only teams
it's
that
crazy. It's probably going to be like the same number of games this year because the schedule's shorter. So
hmm
I don't know. At least the Ice Hogs are playing in their normal arena. I know some teams are playing in their practice arenas.
I think that the Eagles are playing in their normal arena. I'm not 100% sure, actually. I'll have to look it up.
Hmm. The Wolves aren't playing at Allstate. They're at their practice arena. And I know there's a couple of other teams that are too.
I know if they would have done that for the Avalanche, we couldn't have done it because our practice arena is at a family fun center.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's at the what is it called? The Arapahoe Fun Center or something in Centennial.
Oh my goodness.
And
You
they
guys
have like
mountain people. I can't deal.
it's a fun place to go. The Family Sports Center, that's what it is.
And that's where the Avs practice?
That's where the Avs practice.
So can you just like go watch them practice?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've done it a couple times. They'll announce like on the PR page when practice is going to be, and you can just go and sit. They have bleachers, and you can just sit and watch them practice.
I mean, that's pretty legit.
For free.
That's nice. The
Yeah, you
Blackhawks
don't even have to pay to
don't.
get into the center. You can just walk in.
Huh. Well, that
Sometimes
is
they'll
cool.
give you pucks.
It's still funny they have their practices at a family fun center, but still.
You'll have to look it up. It's actually really funny.
Wow.
But yeah,
What's it like?
Games there.
What's it like watching a good team this year?
Stressful.
Stressful?
Yes, because
Y'all just beat St. Louis 8-0. How is that stressful?
because like all of us in Denver, I feel like have sports PTSD because we will do so well and then it just falls apart.
Welcome to being a Chicago sports fan, minus those 6 years that the Hawks were winning.
Yeah.
But between the Bears and the Cubs, like, it's rough.
The Cubs, we don't need to talk about the Cubs. What was that, 100-year drought? 109 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
There'll probably be another one, too.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It sure does.
As soon as I bought that Cubs hat, it fell apart.
So it's your fault.
No. It's not my fault. But it's like the Rockies are the same way. We made the World Series once in our entire franchise history, and we got swept and lost.
Oh. Ouch.
By Boston. And
That's
then,
rough.
I mean, I feel like as far as championships go, the Broncos easily take it. All those Super Bowls. But the Nuggets have never won a championship.
Oh my goodness.
The Avs, we have 2 Stanley Cups, and we haven't won the Stanley Cup since 2001.
Good old Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh and Joe Sakic. And Bork. Bork finally got his cup.
Yep.
But
always a good story. Now Joe Sakic is just owning the rest of the league as GM.
He is a viper.
Man.
He's such a good GM. Like there's a lot of players that you think would be good in the office, and he just is. I don't know how he does it. He is just a genius.
Yeah, like between the 3 teams who were involved in that Duchesne trade, Colorado came out like light years ahead of everybody else.
Oh yeah. That was the funniest. I will never forget watching that game when he went off the ice and just never came back.
Yeah. He was traded
so...
mid-game, wasn't he?
Yeah, our announcers said that they heard it was happening, but they didn't know, and then he went off the ice and never came back. And that was it.
Oh, jeez. And then where'd he go? Ottawa? Is that where he was traded? And then from there he went to Columbus, and then from there to Nashville.
I cannot stand him.
Welp.
I feel like he got his karma for how he treated this hockey team. Like, he was such an asshole for the last few seasons he played here.
Hopefully he gets to watch the Avs win the cup before he ever wins one then.
I hope so. That would be just amazing.
It didn't work out that way with Ryan O'Reilly, but...
I still love Ryan O'Reilly.
Well, he's now the captain of the St. Louis Blues, so you get to see him a whole bunch this year.
I sure do. There's certain players I get upset that we traded. Ryan O'Reilly is one, and the other, I mean, you guys have Zadorov now, so.
We do. Big Z.
He's such a fun player to watch.
I feel like a lot of Hawks fans were very skeptical about acquiring him after the trade because they have this severe attachment to Brandon Saad. And don't get me wrong, he's a very good player, but he's a guy that you can trade, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we did lose the trade giving Panarin to Columbus to get Saad back. That was a bad one.
That was, yeah.
That was real bad.
That wasn't just bad, that was stupid.
One of the worst trades in recent Blackhawks history for sure. There's been a lot of bad ones, but that was definitely one of the worst.
Yeah.
But if Zadorov keeps playing the way that he has been, I think that the Hawks might come out on top in that one.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been 2 games, so it's hard to say, but like Saad, when he's been on the ice, I mean, he seems fine. I don't have any like complaints. Yeah. But it's hard to judge somebody off of just 2 games. But based off of how he was in Chicago, I mean, I think it was a good trade.
Yeah.
As sad as it was to lose Zadorov.
I mean, I think he can be beneficial for you. He's responsible with the puck. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, we need that.
Yeah, and we definitely needed some sort of defense.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really gotten so far since we've been outscored 15-5, but you know.
There are some issues with Zadorov is he does spend a lot of time where he doesn't really belong.
Huh.
He's just in the wrong part of the ice a lot of the time, I think. And
interesting.
But when he is in the right spot, he's very hard to get around.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, he's huge.
The puck in. He's huge. He's massive. The practice is at the Family Fun Center. We were kind of up toward the ice, and he skated up and was standing, and he was just a behemoth. I mean, the man is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
The TV doesn't do it justice. Like, when you see him in person, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, we definitely need some size because we keep drafting small guys, which is fine if they turn out, but you do need some people with size on your roster as well. Somebody that's willing to hit, because we've been lacking that for a very long time.
I feel like a lot of teams have backed off of physical play. I think it's a league issue. I don't think it's with specific teams at this point.
They definitely have, and I feel like it's because they can't find the balance, right? Because you want guys who can play physical, but in how the league is going these days, they also need to be able to play hockey. Like, you can't just stick a enforcer out there on the 4th line and be like, well, it's your shift, now go fight somebody, and then just sit for the rest of the game.
Yeah, hit them maybe once, and then you might go back in after 15 minutes, you know?
Yes, like, the people that do it well are the guys who are hated around the league, like Ryan Reeves on the Knights and Tom Wilson on the Caps. And unfortunately, that's like fucking Brad Marchand, but you know.
Well, who was it? I cannot think of his name. God. Who hit Taves the other night, elbowed him straight up in the head. God, on the boot.
Oh gosh, I was seeing this replay every time that they talked about the Avs.
Yeah. You can probably hear my dog barking.
Sure can.
Sorry.
That Jack probably.
He likes to go out there and scream.
I also scream into the night.
I do too. Who doesn't? He really is my dog's son. I can't remember who it was, but it's like stuff like that where he got a game suspension for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you have players who, no matter how many times you coach them, no matter how many times they get suspended, they still cannot hit people correctly.
Right.
But then you have other players like Nikita Zadorov, who, when he hits hard, but
Yeah.
they're almost 99.9% of the time they are clean and they are correct. So it's
Well,
like,
that's good.
yeah,
That's what the league needs more of, guys who actually know how to be physical, not that are just physical to try to injure somebody.
exactly. Like, you don't need to just kill people on the ice.
No.
But at the same time, the point of hockey, I think, is it's a physical sport. It's not just, I mean, if we might as well just go to Olympic rules if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
like college, where you can tap someone against the boards and that's really about it.
Yeah. Or women's hockey where you get called for body checking, which is the dumbest thing in the world. I promise you women can handle being hit.
Oh, I wish they would let the women just go to
They
town.
would
They
murder each other.
for each other. It would be so fun to watch.
It would.
Oh my god. He wants to
Jack
be
has a
on
lot
this
to say.
podcast too.
He does. It's totally fine. I'm sure he has very good opinions.
He hears me scream at the TV enough. I think he knows everything about our team.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, I know that.
You guys also have a player that definitely walks the line between legal and illegal hitting there with Nazem Kadri.
Yes,
I love Naz.
I
I
do
love
too.
him as a Maple Leaf, but all of those suspensions in the playoffs definitely didn't help his team very much.
He, I, I have mixed feelings about Cowdrey. It's like I like him a lot. I really
Hmm.
do. But he does not make very wise choices.
That is accurate.
And that, I mean, there are some times where, yeah, he steps up and he defends his team and he's physical, and you're like, yes, like that's the message you need to send.
Hmm.
And then you have other moments where you're like, you basically just cost us the game.
Yeah, sometimes he just sees red and there's no stopping it.
Yeah. And which that sounds like a personal problem. That doesn't sound like a hockey problem.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the
I'm
same time,
sure,
it's like, yeah, you have to think about it just a little bit.
yeah, if it wasn't for that, he would probably still be a Maple Leaf. Like, now they do have a bunch of centers, but still. He was one of the fan favorites, at least.
Yeah. I know when he came to Denver, it was a big deal. A lot of
Yeah,
people here were really excited.
for Alexander Kerfoot.
I didn't dislike Kerfoot. I was just happy to get rid of Tyson Berry.
Yeah, we don't talk about Tyson Berry.
No. He was
He's,
the other one, like you said about Sod. He's likable, and he's not a
yeah.
bad player, but he should have been traded years ago. I mean, he
Mhm.
overstayed his welcome.
And now he plays Edmonton. Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were definitely right about the whole turnover Tyson thing.
Turnover Tyson.
It's rough.
It's hard. And it sucks because I'm seeing, it's an unpopular opinion, but I'm seeing similar qualities in Cale Makar.
Oh no.
I don't know if it's that he gets too excited
Yeah.
or just because he has not been in
He
the
just can't
NHL.
be tamed.
Yeah. He doesn't hang on to the puck nearly as much as he should. He turns it over a lot. And he has been passing to a lot of the wrong players.
Oof.
And I'm like, okay, he's young.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's
that that's the
excitable.
difference between him and Barry is that Makar is still very young.
Yeah, he is. And it's funny, like, to realize this is only his second season.
Yeah, that's crazy. Last year was his first full year, right?
Yeah, because he made his debut in the
In the playoffs.
playoffs.
Didn't he score a goal in his first game?
Yeah. First, I think it was his first puck possession. He went up and shot it and scored his first NHL goal.
Wow.
I mean, he's not, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just hope that they can control that now.
Yeah, they need to coach the bad habits out of him.
Yes.
Who's your coach? Bednar, right?
Bednar.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can take control of that.
I hope so. Because our defense is stacked.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of young guys. Like, you have Makar.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard's still young, right?
Yeah, I love Sammy.
And I mean, now you have fucking Bowen Byram. So.
We have if he pans out, it's been a long road for Connor Timmins.
Yeah.
I think this is his first I was going to say first full season, but then he got moved to the taxi squad, so I don't know if that's going to count.
I suppose I don't really know.
I don't know. Cuz he's played in the NHL before, but he's always just been a call up.
Yeah, I feel like he's just perpetually a prospect for the Avs. It's just always on the prospect list.
He keeps getting hurt.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
He's had like 2 or 3 concussions.
Oof.
And they didn't even know, I think, at one point if he was going to be able to play.
Oh man.
But he keeps working to come back, so I don't know if he's going to stick around or if they're going to try to trade him or what's going to happen to him, but
yeah, I don't know what his worth would be around the league at this point. You never really hear his name brought up.
Yeah, it's like Tyson Jost.
Yeah.
I really like Tyson Jost. I think he's a solid player.
I wouldn't mind having him on the Hawks.
Yeah. I hope that if we do trade him, he is successful because he deserves it.
Yeah. I wish we would have gotten him with Zadorov instead of Andreas Lindholm or whatever.
Yeah. I think that was we need to get rid of him. Will you take him?
It was just such a throw-in. Like, what? Okay, yeah. I guess.
Lindholm was... I forget where he went, but when we traded Sven Andrighetto, that was another one that when he was here, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't really... I mean, he was all right.
I don't even remember hearing his name after he left the Avs.
Yeah, well, according to Google, he is in Europe, so...
Oh, well, that would do it.
He's playing in Russia.
I don't know if Lindholm was even at training camp, to be honest. Maybe he was and got sent down. I can't recall. He wasn't one of those names that I was looking for to be like, is he at training camp? Is he playing?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just says that he's playing for the Ice Hogs. This is technically with the Chicago Blackhawks, but it says that he is currently playing for the Rockford Ice Hogs.
Yeah, so he must have got sent down.
Yeah.
Great. I can't wait to watch him play for the Ice Hogs. I'm so excited.
Are you able to go to the games? Are they letting people in?
Nope.
No?
Nope. They are giving season ticket holders free access to AHL TV, though, so we can watch all of the home and away games.
That's nice.
So that's nice.
At least you get to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, they make it really hard to watch Avs games. Like, Dish here doesn't carry NBC Sports Chicago, so people with Dish can't watch it, but Comcast has it.
That's what I don't get with the NHL is they complain that they have no viewer base and they claim that hockey is dying, but they don't make their games accessible.
They make it impossible to watch.
Yeah, as how do you expect people to even get into a sport that they can't even watch?
Right. It's ridiculous.
That makes no sense.
And especially now when a lot of people are still working from home, like I think it was Friday night, there were 5 games on and 4 of them were at the same time. Like,
Yeah. They
what?
didn't think any of it through. I think that by the time they started seriously considering it, they ran out of time.
Yeah, because they were targeting that
The January.
beginning of January date.
Yeah. Which
It's just
the best thing they can do is to shorten the playoffs. I've been saying it for years that every round except for the Stanley Cup needs to be best out of 5.
that's what baseball does, right?
Yeah. The World Series, I think the World Series.
The World Series is best of 7.
Div-
Because the Cubs went to Game 7.
yeah. The Championship Series, I think, is also 7, but the Division Series is 5.
The first round in the AHL is 5 games, and then it's 7 after that.
Yeah, which even that would be fine.
Yeah.
Especially, like, with our season, even our regular season this year, I looked, and for a 4-game series that we're going to have against Vegas, it's going to take 9 days.
Oh my god.
9 days to play.
That's pretty ridiculous.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And it's the same thing with the playoff series, is you have games that are slated to go through 7 games, and by the time you get to game 7, it's been over a week.
Mm-hmm.
It should not last that long.
I feel like the first round should be 7 games because the first round is usually just chaotic because there's so many teams. And then they could shorten it to 5 for the second and third and go back to 7 for the Stanley Cup, which would be absolutely ridiculous, but the NHL is ridiculous, so I could see it happening.
Honestly, I would go the first round. I'd go best out of 3.
No way.
Yes.
No. The first round is the best round. There's always some nonsense that happens.
Like when we swept Calgary.
Exactly. And like when Columbus swept Tampa Bay.
That was that was so funny.
And Toronto and Boston always going to game 7 and Toronto absolutely shitting the bed. You can't get rid of the 7-game series in the first round. Any round after that, I don't care. But the first round is made for chaos. What's that?
They need to add another division into each conference.
They do.
Because this whole 16 game, or not 16 team thing is messy.
Yeah,
There's teams that just don't belong, and then you have teams that meet in the playoffs where, like us, it seems like we're always racing St. Louis at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't want every single season to just be Colorado or St. Louis.
That's how it was with the Hawks in St. Louis for a while.
Yeah. Because there's no excitement in that. Like, I was rooting for Vegas to go to the Stanley Cup and to win just for the sheer fact that it was different.
Yeah. I mean, Dallas made it a little different when they went against Tampa. Then Tampa finally got their cup. Unfortunately.
I mean, it is what it is. Out of the teams, it was like when Washington got it.
I was happy about that. Ovi needed his cup.
Now he can. I just liked how he was drunk for the entire off season with.
I'm pretty sure he's still drunk from celebrating the cup. It just hasn't worn off yet.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I want Nathan MacKinnon to get his cup before Connor McDavid.
That would be beautiful.
I would never, ever let that go.
I think it's definitely likely because McDavid is stuck in Edmonton and they can never figure their shit out. Like, the Hawks beat them in the play-in series. Come on.
Yeah. The bubble was weird, though. I mean,
it was, but still.
I don't think you can judge too much from the bubble, but that was funny.
There's no reason the Hawks should have beat Edmonton.
They shouldn't have even been in the bubble.
No. It was horrible that they did that to us.
When
I
I
was so
saw
mad.
that we're going to the bubble, I was like, Chicago?
I was so mad. We were the last team in our conference to make it into the stupid playoffs because they expanded it. We were 12th in the friggin' West. That's not okay. Every team in the Central Division made it to the playoffs, and we were last in the division.
Yeah.
The only team that's going to battle us for last in the division this season could possibly be Detroit, but even they got better over the offseason when we didn't.
Detroit.
Yeah. Because they went out and got Thomas Grace, and he's actually been playing well in net for them. So who knows? The Hawks are going to end up last again.
Well, maybe not.
They will.
You never know.
Which is fine, as long as they don't get fucked in the draft lottery.
Draft off. I don't want to hear the words draft lottery.
But isn't that the year you got Makar anyway? When you guys got screwed?
I think it was. Well, because Makar wasn't a first, number one.
Right.
If he would have been first overall, he would have gone to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because New Jersey picked.
Was that the year they got
Jack?
Was it? No, I think it was Nico Hischier, because they got it 2 years in a row. It was Nico Hischier and then Jack Hughes.
I can't remember. Like I said, all of this stuff at this point is blending together. Like it's hard to remember when everything is happening.
Yeah, I feel like after going through 2020, it's like everything that was before that is just clumped into like life before 2020, and it's all in the same box.
Yeah, that happened in 2017 and that happened in 2018. Nope. It's like, no, it was before last year.
Yep. I just know it wasn't last year.
It wasn't last year, and that's all that matters. But yeah, Makar, it might have been that year, but it was one of the draft lottery years that we got Makar. And Byram, I mean,
Byram was fourth because we picked third and took Doc, and then you guys picked right after us.
I was certain that you guys were going to get Byram.
I thought so at first too, and then it was like the day before and the day of the draft, everybody with like insider knowledge, quote unquote, was like, no, Chicago's taking Kirby Doc. I was like, excuse me? Where did this come from?
Byram. He seems like such a sensitive kid. Especially
I know. Now,
Junior's performance.
Whenever I think of him now, I just think of how upset he was after the U.S. shut them out in the gold medal game.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a strength or if that's a weakness. We have to see him play.
Well, he was definitely one of the best players for Canada, so I'll say it's probably a strength.
Yeah.
I just felt so bad for him.
Like,
He just wanted to be sent more, but then they kept making him do stuff because he was technically the captain that game.
Yeah. I know everyone on Avalanche, like Twitter and stuff, were saying, they're like, why do they keep just breaking this kid's heart over and over again?
It's so terrible. I felt so bad for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we have Newhook coming eventually.
He was really good in the World Juniors too.
Yeah. I think it was that I saw he wants to finish his collegiate before going to the NHL. That's what Kerfoot did.
Okay.
Kerfoot played all 4 years at Harvard, and then he went to the NHL, so.
Yeah, we just got Ian Mitchell out of Denver University. He wanted to go back for his junior year, but then left before his senior year, so thankfully we have him now. He's like the only good thing we have on defense.
Yeah, DU produces a lot of very good players. I know Bozak on St. Louis is another DU alum.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And,
I keep forgetting he plays for St. Louis now and not the Leafs anymore.
Yeah. And then, God, I cannot remember like anything tonight.
It was all before 2020.
Yeah, that all before 2020.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I'm thinking right at the tip of my tongue, the one DU player that was on Minnesota,
Mm.
and not for the life of me remember his name. I know Paul Stastny was one back in the day. Paul Stastny was a DU alum.
I forgot he went back to Winnipeg until I had that game on earlier today.
He
They were
did?
playing the Leafs. Yeah.
Oh, I missed
Yep.
that. I remember people were so upset that he left Denver, and I didn't ever really care.
Like, he's a good player, but he's one of those guys like Saad. Like, you can trade him, you know?
Yeah.
He's not somebody you build your franchise around.
Yeah, I think that it's getting scary with the Avalanche because I feel like we have built our franchise around so many players.
Mm-hmm.
Like every team seems to have like a superstar player that is a
Yeah.
staple in that city. We have like 6. And it's scary because eventually like the whole thing with Gabriel Landeskog, like we're going to have to figure out what to do with Landeskog. Is he
Mm-hmm.
going to stay here or are they going to let him go?
Like, if you win the cup, it doesn't matter. It'll be like Chicago, how
Yeah.
we had to get rid of all
Yeah.
of those guys
Yeah.
during salary cap purges. Like,
Yep.
if you go back and look at that 2010 team that won, just the names on that roster are absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, yeah. I think the only ones you guys still really kept were Taves and Kane, right?
Taves, Kane, and Keith.
Yeah.
And then Sharp until he retired. Well, after trading him to Dallas and then getting him back.
Yeah. Crawford's now retired.
Yeah. Hossa, we had to send his contract to Arizona because he got the skin condition and couldn't play. Yeah, there's only well, technically we still have Brent Seabrook too, who is supposed to come back this season, but he injured his back again, so who knows?
He'll probably retire.
At this point, I just kind of hope so because I don't know. Like, God bless him for everything he did for the team, but that contract is a boat anchor. It is bad.
That's the thing, like not all players are going to be Nathan MacKinnon who intentionally took less money to make the team better.
Which is just annoying.
Yeah. You're not going to get players like that, and it's unfortunate, but it allowed us to keep Mikko Rantanen.
True.
I honestly think that was really the only reason why we were able to make that contract was because MacKinnon took less money. But it makes
They
me feel
should just name Nate Mack the captain then for doing that.
They should. If we get rid of Landeskog, I'm positive that MacKinnon is going to be our captain. Hands down, 100%.
It would be really weird to see Landeskog in a different jersey.
It would.
But it's also very weird to see Chara in a Caps jersey instead of Boston.
I forgot that even happened until the other night.
Yeah.
I saw something about it and I was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't in Boston anymore.
It's very weird. And Holtby being on the Canucks instead of Washington.
Yeah.
It's just so much weirdness that happened in this offseason.
Well, and come the day if Dallas ever gets rid of Tyler Seguin, at this point, that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Because he was in Boston for such a little amount of time. It's like he's basically Dallas's franchise at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been with Dallas longer at this point than he was with Boston.
Yeah, even though
I don't remember which year he was drafted. I think it was his...
right before Boston won that cup.
I don't think he... Did he? Yeah, he did win it.
Did. Because they traded him because he was a party animal.
Right.
He was a troublemaker.
I believe he was still with the Bruins when the Hawks beat them in 2013.
I think so. I think that he went to
I think it
Denver.
was that off season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was.
I don't know. Now I'm forgetting too.
It's God.
This whole episode is just
We
like,
have
I
a
don't
stroke.
remember.
He might have had strokes and we just don't know it.
It sure seems like it. It's like I
God.
have all of this information floating in my head, but all of the dates are just meshing together.
We're gonna give the mansplainers a field day with this.
Oh,
We told you
God.
and don't know hockey.
No, people can catch instant blocks if they start trying that nonsense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could wrap this up so we don't go on forgetting more things. So,
We
aside
make
from,
fools out of ourselves.
yeah, aside from Nathan MacKinnon, who do you think is going to be your top point scorer for the Avs? I won't say just goals, just overall points.
I think I'm gonna go out on a limb,
Ooh.
and I'm going to say Andre Burakovsky.
Okay.
He is another one who has just exploded since he came to Colorado.
Yeah, that was the best thing that ever happened to his career.
When he left Washington, it's been just unbelievable. And if he continues the way he went even last season, I think he's gonna be a big asset to us.
Yeah.
So.
I think he was just buried behind too many guys in Washington and never really got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I think at this point, our team is getting to be the same way.
Yeah.
You have so much talent, it's going to be hard to single out any specific player, I think.
Oh no, it must be so terrible.
I know, I don't know what to do.
Gosh, the Hawks are so bad. They're so bad.
Just think, the last time, I think that every player, which I'll have to Google this now, but every player that was playing when we won our last Stanley Cup has retired.
Oof.
Just think about that.
Yikes.
2001.
Yeah, all the players that were on your team at least.
Mm-hmm. Adam Foote retired, Sakic, Forsberg, Hayduk.
Patrick Wall came back and was your coach for a little bit.
Such a bad coach.
All I remember was him trying to fight the other coach through the glass. I don't remember who it was.
I think
Was it Anaheim?
I think it was Anaheim.
I think it was.
I think it
Was
was
it
Anaheim.
Carlisle? Was Carlisle the coach there?
Yeah, that was fun though.
That was a while ago. I feel like I was still in school when that happened.
I think it was.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it's like
That was pretty
when
great.
Joe Quenneville was our coach. That's weird to think about too. Yeah, I don't even think you remember that. You were too little.
I don't. I wasn't watching hockey at that point. Because it used to be impossible for Blackhawks fans to watch hockey here.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. How the only place people could watch them was at bars or whatever.
Like, they had to go to the game. They thought that if they couldn't watch it on TV, people would go to the game. I don't know what kind of thought process that is. How are people supposed to know they like the team if they can't watch them?
That's what we were saying about having blackouts.
Yeah.
It's fine to tell people just go to the game, but it's like if you don't even know if you like the sport, you're not going to spend that much money to go.
Exactly. And now nobody can go to games. I mean, pretty much some arenas have a few fans, but having blackouts this season is especially dumb. And I feel like they widened the blackout area because I used to be able to watch St. Louis no problem, but I tried to tune into one of their games. It wasn't against the Avs because I got that on the national broadcast. I don't know who it was, but I couldn't watch it. It's like, what?
Was it the game we had on Saturday or Friday?
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was the first game. Yeah. because the second game I got where you killed him 8-0. So it must have been the first game.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. Blackouts are so dumb.
Yeah, I thought because I have Disney Plus, I'm like, well, I can just use that ESPN Plus that I got included with my bundle, but no.
Blackouts.
Blackout. And I can't get NHL TV because blackout.
Blackouts. You'd have to use a VPN.
Yeah, I'm not paying $100 to get NHL TV to not even be able to watch what I would get it for.
Yeah.
So
it's ridiculous.
Frustrating.
All right, so Andre Burakovsky is going to be your second highest point getter, because I'm just assuming McKinnon's going to be number 1.
Yeah, no, hands down.
And then Burakovsky.
Probably Makar. We'll say top 5. McKinnon, Burakovsky, Makar, probably Rantanen, and not just because I like him, but I'm going to say Sam Girard.
That would be interesting.
Is a very good assist. He had a lot of assists last season.
That's kind of how Duncan Keith was in his prime. He didn't score super goals. He didn't score a large amount of goals, but he was always on the assist sheet.
Yeah. I think they said at one point last year, I think it was before the bubble, they said Girard had assists in like 9 or 10 straight games or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, he's scrappy. I like him a lot.
Yeah. I'll be pretty impressed if he cracks the top 5 on your point list.
Be interesting.
We shall see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yes. But thank you for coming on the podcast again. It was nice chatting with you.
Thanks for dealing with my sudden short-term memory loss.
I mean, it was contagious because now I don't remember anything either, so it's fine.
It's all right.
Totally fine.
All right.
Well, thank you all for tuning in, and I will catch you all next time. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!